Eric, obviously not a good day. Where and how did that go so badly wrong for Manchester United?
Yeah, for me, I don't have an explanation. I have to find out. It's only what I have seen. The first half was quite in control. Maybe even we had a better chance. We make one mistake. And then second half, in the start, we gave 2 goals away, where we are really poor in defense transition. And then everything fell out of each other. It was like defense transition. There was no team anymore. We didn't stick to the plan. 11 individuals, so I don't know, really bad.
Have you asked the players what happened?
I have given my opinion. That's unprofessional. You always have to stick as a team together, fight with each other, and we didn't do. We were really indisciplined in our jobs.
Do you feel you just disintegrated and lost all composure?
Yeah, I think we have seen the same. And it's not necessary. You can have setbacks, but what can't happen is that you don't stick together, and you have to do your job. And it's not possible. We make the wrong decisions in the transition, but we didn't run a match the runs. We didn't track back, and that's for me unprofessional.
That's hard for you to accept, but as we stand here right now, what are your feelings as to how that came about, why it came about, and also why, with senior players on the pitch, they weren't able to compose themselves?
I don't know. In this moment, what I have seen, I think first half we play really decent. We created the better chances, and then in the end we concede 1 goal, and then straight after halftime 2. But then stick to the plan, and it's 3-0. Okay, then you lose a game, but you have to keep your head up.
Is embarrassing too strong a word to use, that second half performance?
It's really unprofessional.
How do you react after something like this? This is the biggest defeat that Liverpool have ever inflicted upon Manchester United. Where do you go from here?
I'm really disappointed, and I'm angry, especially for our fans. We let them down, but also as a squad, as a team, you can't allow this. You have to stick together, and you have to fight with each other. You have to support each other, and you have to defend. And that is what we didn't do. So for me, it's really unprofessional.
Is this the same as the start of the season? I'm thinking of the Brentford game in particular. Or is this worse because of the improvement you made and also because it was Liverpool today?
You can't compare it. Totally different situations. We are months ahead. We make a lot of progression. But you see also when you don't keep the standards, what can happen.
So to reapply those standards as a coach, how big a job on your hands right now? And also how damaging as well for the players mentally in terms of the run-in for the season?
Well, what I've said in the dressing room, it's unacceptable. The performance clear. But also, it's only 1 game. A big defeat. What's unacceptable, especially for our fans, especially why it's against Liverpool, but we will bounce back. This team is strong enough, he will reset himself, and we will bounce back.
Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome.
Well, Paul, he didn't hold back. Really unprofessional, totally unacceptable.
Yeah, and I think his first answer was that he doesn't really have an explanation for it. And then I think he went to answer his explanation, which was they didn't run back hard enough. They didn't track back. The very first thing we were taught when we were players in these big games, when you lose possession, you sprint back. You sprint back into your shape, get yourself organised. These players weren't doing that. We saw in a couple of clips there was half a team defending, half a team attacking. It's not good enough in big games like this. You just can't win games. You're going to concede chances. You're going to concede goals. You're playing against the best teams. I think he's probably learning who he can trust in these big games. I think Anthony was one probably today he'll be worried about again playing in these big games. I think Darlow has struggled in these big games. I think right back is a little bit of a weakness. I think Wan-Bissaka's a better defender in these type of games. That's where I think naivety of going to big games and going toe-to-toe, thinking you can play an attacking full-back, it is naive, really. I think it's a place for a defensive right back. I think ideally in that position you'd probably like someone in the middle of them two. You know, they're both very good at going one way and the other way, but not quite the full package. And I think Bruno defensively never been great. I think he'll do it to a point, but he's never been great. Vigos is in the team to be a defender, really. You know, you're talking about a Manchester United number 10 or centre forward. He's in the team to be defensive, really. He's the one that runs about and rats about, and everybody likes playing with him because he does that. But quality-wise as well, you've got to have a certain level of quality to play for Man United. It's not there. Look, I don't want to be too disrespectful. I don't want to be too disrespectful to the team, really, because they've been great. They've just won a trophy. And I keep going to the word freakish. That is a freakish day, that is a really freakish day. I think they've got the experience, the character, the quality in the team still to recover from that. I think there won't be many players who have had beatings like that, but somehow they're going to have to respond. I think on Thursday night it'll freshen up. There's a decent sized squad now. We've got a little bit of confidence about them, and they'll be looking at it thinking, you know, I should be playing. They should be staking a claim for a place. So look, they're going to be devastated. Of course they are because of the result, but it's 7 goals from 8 chances. Well, where do you ever see that? I can't believe that's ever happened again, and it has happened. So you've got to take it on the chin. You've got to recover, because now there's still a chance of winning a couple more trophies. I hope now it doesn't see them off. Do you know what I mean? Because it can. Mentally, it can do you more than your legs, really. These players now, they're a young team, so there's some young players, okay, it's mixed. There's a great mixture with experience, but there's some young players who it might take them a little while to get over that, and it should do. It really should do, because it's an embarrassing afternoon for them. But as I said before, the manager, the staff especially, they've got to try and regroup with this group of players. It's one game, it's 3 points, move on and try and finish in that top 4 and try and win another trophy.
He said out on the face of the Liverpool captain in the rain at Anfield. The other side of the story is Manchester United's heaviest defeat for 92 years. Here's their captain, Bruno Fernandes.
We've had a few moments there in the changing rooms. Is it possible to explain exactly what happened there today?
The standard was not at our level. That's why we didn't win. We didn't get anything from the game. I think first half we did really well. We controlled the game. We had the most chances probably. Liverpool find the goal. We came to the second half and we conceded too many goals from our mistakes and from positions where we should be aware of what Liverpool wanted from the game.
Like you say, at half-time, and even at 1-0, recently it felt like United would have and normally did come back from games like that. So what changed in that second half then?
As I said, we did too many mistakes. That is not at our standard, our level, the level we used to be. We gave too much space away for them to counter. We knew how good they could be in a counter-attack. It's one of the best weapons that they have, and we didn't control that good enough.
There's been an awful lot of games recently. There's been 4 matches since your last Premier League game alone. Is that starting to catch up now, the amount of games that are coming, and quite intense games as well, including that cup final?
We can't use that as an excuse. If you want to play for this top club, being in all the competitions, fight for all the competitions, we have to play all the games, and we have to want to play more and more often. So we can use that as an excuse. It's just our standard was not good enough, and that's it.
So how do you stop this having a big impact on the rest of the season now?
We had worse moments than this, and we came back from that. So it's obviously it hurts a lot. But it's still just one game. We lost 3 points. Even if he's doing with this kind of result, is again, as I said, as I always said, that big games don't give you more than 3 points, and obviously can get you all down of confidence and of everything. But the team has to have the belief as always, because what we have done in the past has brought us into the position we are today, and this result can't change what is being our mentality.
Always appreciate you talking to me. Thanks.
That's the Manchester United captain. I get what he's saying, Paul, but as a Manchester United player, it isn't just 3 points lost there, is it? Given the scoreline and where it is and who it's against.
No, it's not. I do actually think he spoke quite well there. He wasn't looking for excuses. He's saying, being at a big club, you have to expect to play a lot of games during the season. And look, they have played a lot of games. I actually feel sorry for him when he's played, actually. He's been pushed out to many positions now to do a job for a team to accommodate people. He was on the left today. He's been on the right. He's played through the middle. He has been a little bit all over the place, and I don't think you can't say any of the players performed the way they should have done, but I thought he was especially poor today, really. It wasn't his greatest afternoon. But again, being played all over the place doesn't help you. I think there's a couple of players in that team that, when it comes to big games like this, I don't think they're quite at the level. I think the right back position could be a problem. They clearly need a centre forward if Martial's going to have the injury record he's got. And there are issues in the team, but it's difficult to be critical of this team for what's happened over the last so many games. Since that Brentford game, especially, look, there's been disappointments and there's been games where the keeper has had to save them at times, and they've come on and made changes and been different and made a difference to games, the substitutes especially, where they've given them a real lift when really they could have been out of games. But look, such a freak. I keep saying the word freak.
So you're not concerned of any hangover going forward from this?
Well, that's the big question now. I don't think so. I think, as I mentioned, with the characters that are in the team, the experience the manager's got, I think they'll come out of this okay. You have to be slightly worried, of course, but I think when you look back at it and you see they only created 8 chances, Liverpool at Anfield, I'll tell you what, in normal years, you'd probably accept that. But there's no way in a million years you'd expect them to score 7. Liverpool, I bet we've played against Liverpool. They've created 20, 25 chances in the past and not scored a goal. It was just such a freakish afternoon. And I'm glad that he won't blame tiredness. And it's how they react from this, really. As I said, they've got big experience in that team. They've got a squad now where they could possibly freshen up for Thursday night, especially play players who won't be scarred by what happened today. But I think there's a big job now from the manager and the support staff to really, get this team lifted. Maybe just a couple of days off or something, get away from that and refocus on an important end to the season.
The fact that United have lost away at Arsenal, City, and Liverpool now, is that just a guide as to perhaps they're just a fraction off the top 2?
Well, I think so. I think we mustn't forget how far Manchester United have come, and we mustn't, all of a sudden think, right, they're title contenders and they're going to win everything, because they are still, a little bit behind the likes of Manchester City. You could argue they're, Arsenal and teams like that, they're hunting down, although Arsenal have gone again. But, I mean, in this great run that they had, and I asked Paul the question just before kick-off, they've been getting great results, but I've not really been out of my seat thinking, wow, this club is going to take the Premier League by storm, let's say, next season. I've been really impressed with the progress that Manchester United have made, but there's still a long way to go. And that was before today's result. Obviously, today's result makes you think that even more. One question I would have was, which Paul just raised before, would be team selection. There's one position on that pitch before today's game that everybody thinks, wow, this could be the match-winning area. Marcus Rashford against Trent Alexander-Arnold was on everybody's lips going into this game. And what does he do? He puts their best player in Rashford, or their most attacking threat, onto probably Liverpool's best couple of players themselves. Virgil van Dijk's one of the fastest, strongest, best players in the world. And yet he's already had loads of success on the left-hand side against Trent Alexander-Arnold. So that was a big surprise.
Or could I play devil's advocate here? At half-time, it was only 1-0, and Rashford down the middle had a huge chance.
Yeah.
That probably wasn't in the conversation at half-time, was it?
Well, no. Go on, Michael. Go on.
Well, I was going to say, Weghorst is a number 10. I mean, I've never been sure of that one. He did have a great chance.
As a number 10 or a centre forward.
Or as a centre forward, especially in this type of fixture.
Yeah.
But he did have a big chance, Steve, and he missed that chance. And he's used to having chances coming off the left with, making a run on a certain angle towards goal. But that's precisely my point. Now, anybody can miss chances, but he's playing down the middle. He's had one chance. He's been lethal all season. Hardly missed an opportunity. And going down the middle might have been the different angle, might have just been the occasion, might have just been because you missed chances. That's all fine. But none of that, for me, if I was a Manchester United fan, thinking, wow, this could be an area we can hurt Liverpool today. And they go and play him against two really strong, quick, good players. I'm not sure about that at all. In fact, I disagree with that.
I think Michael's exactly right about that. The one thing, the question you asked originally about going to Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City and getting beat well at Liverpool, getting beat well at Manchester City, a bit closer at Arsenal, of course, was, and the missing Casemiro. I think the manager has to learn, when you go to these big grounds, when you go to these better teams, the first thing you have to do is try and stop them. There's no shame in that. I think this manager, as I said before the game, he wants to go toe-to-toe with the big teams. He wants to play like them. He wants to play like Manchester City. But Manchester United don't have to do that. No, with Sir Alex, when we...
And never have done.
Never have done. When we played, honestly, we went to these big teams, you respect them. You play five in midfield. First and foremost, you stop them because we know how good they can be. And we also know we might get one or two chances, but we've got the players in the team who have the quality to do it. You know, with being in Ajax, obviously the competition isn't quite as good. I think he'll have to learn that the philosophy of Manchester United, it's not, you don't have to go toe-to-toe, you don't have to go to these big teams. Go to Barcelona, did kick the ball for 70 minutes, get a 0-0. It's a great result. Going to these places sometimes and drawing a game is a brilliant result if you're looking over the full season. So I think he's going to have to lose that naivety, really, and as you say, Michael, with today, I think especially the team selection wasn't quite right on what we expected.
Interesting. Let's go back to Anfield. Our very own Owen Hargreaves, without an umbrella, he doesn't need a brolly, does he? He's waiting to talk to us. Listen, it's a horrible day for United current players and former players, I guess, to see that unveil in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a surprise. I thought first half, actually, Man United were the better side. I thought the goal came against a run of play. I thought Robertson, Gakpo and Harvey Elliott were the only three good players that in the first half for Liverpool. I thought United had some good moments, but the second half was an absolute mess. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. I was sat right next to the United bench. Don't think they could. I think Erik ten Hag made some subs to change the game. If anything, the game got significantly worse. And just a really bad day at the office. You can't come here and have 11 players get outplayed, and I thought that's exactly what happened today.
What do you think about Scholes' point about a little bit of naivety in the way the team was set up from Erik ten Hag?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I haven't heard what you guys have been saying, but I was surprised with Bruno was on the left wing the whole game. I didn't quite understand that. Weghorst in the 10, I don't think he affected the game. First game, I've seen Casemiro not play really well. There was so many things that just weren't right about Manchester United today. And again, I'm with Mo and Scholes. You know, didn't feel right. You know, he was trying to find something with Weghorst and Bruno off the left. Didn't work. You know, Mo made a good point about Trent and Rashford. I thought Trent played magnificent, by the way, as a right back. But I don't think anybody really tested him in that sense. Let Marcus go. You know, let him stay on the left-hand side and get after Trent. But it just didn't work today. The game plan didn't work. First time all season, really, for United.
Owen, you've been in teams that have had setbacks. Great teams that have had setbacks. How do you bounce back from a 7-0 drubbing to one of your arch rivals? Can they bounce back and almost water off a duck's back?
Mo, that's a great question because they haven't been in this position before. Ten Hag hasn't been here. You can't, Scholes you mentioned, you can't come here, you know, and play that way and get a result like that. This team hasn't been in this position under Erik ten Hag. He made all the players go over and, you know, and clap to the Man United fans, probably apologise. In a way, I don't know how they're going to react, but you can't afford to lose a game like this. 7-0 is. I just thought the second half was a disaster. I think Liverpool scored with the first six shots on target. Don't think David De Gea made a save, so they got to bounce back. They've had a really good season so far. Today was a terrible day at the office.
Yeah, hi Owen Scholes, I hope you're okay, mate. Not as disappointed as I am. Yeah, we were massively surprised with Weghorst playing as a number 10 and Rashford playing through in the middle. We did two Barcelona games together and obviously did the same thing, and it didn't really work. Was you surprised to see that again?
Yeah, I mean, he likes something there with Veghorst, but to be fair, he doesn't even really win that many headers in there. I mean, physically, if you think he's going to win headers, you get long balls. I thought the first 20 minutes, Liverpool were by far the better side. I thought the second 20 minutes, I thought Man United were by far the better side. I thought the goal came against the run of play. Brilliant from Robertson, by the way. And Gakpo, who I thought was probably the best player in the game with Harvey Elliott. So, yeah, there were a few things that didn't work. We've seen him rotate a lot of positions, especially Bruno off the left. But they just didn't have it today defensively. There were so many things wrong with that, and that's why I think he'll have to go back and watch the game again and think, how on earth did we concede 7 goals in a game when Liverpool only had 8 shots on target? That is just not the Man United we've seen this season.
Owen, terrific stuff. Go and get warm and dry.
I'm out of here. Thanks, guys.
and former Man United players can't get out of Anfield quick enough after that. Paul won't want to do this. Michael will, but we're going to look at all 7 goals again because just to remind you of how that game unfolded. Go back to Anfield, one man who certainly enjoyed that, John Barnes. I mean, John, you've seen a lot of things in football. Where does that rank from a Liverpool point of view? Biggest ever win against Manchester United?
Yeah, well, that has to rank up there in terms of the way the season's gone for us, the way the season's gone for them. First half, Owen made the point that I thought Liverpool were excellent in the first 20 minutes. Man United got back into it in the second 20 minutes, probably created better chances. We then scored. Second half, scoring second and third goals so early, really just, knocked the stuffing out of Man United. But then from a Man United perspective, you look at the reaction. Yes, we may not be playing well, but how are we going to react to going 3-0 down? Are we going to fight? Whereas you can see, Anthony throwing his arms in the air, Rashford just throwing his arms in the air, winning free kicks, Fernandes. You can't always play well. And when you're not playing well and things aren't going your way because everything Liverpool seems to hit goes in the back of the net, how do the players react when in adversity? And I think that Erik ten Hag would be disappointed in the reaction of the Man United players. And of course, things have gone well for him since he's been here, but this will be a big sign as to how far Man United have to go. Liverpool haven't turned the corner. Not now all of a sudden we're going to be winning all the games, but I think that this will go a long way to improving our season.
Absolutely. Give us a sense of what it was like in the stadium, particularly second half, when those goals were going in and indeed when the final whistle went.
Well, as I said, the second and third goals really knocked the stuffing out of Man United. But that's where you're going to look at the character of the Man United players to say, yes, we're not playing well. Everything they seem to hit goes into the back of the net. But how are we going to tackle? How are we going to chase? How are we going to respond? And I think that this was the most intense Liverpool have played out of possession, and I don't think Manchester United could cope with Liverpool's intensity out of possession, which is why Casemiro has been fantastic. They hustled, they harried, and this is where Man United will probably have not come up against a team like this before. So 7-0 probably flattered us a bit, but I'll take it.
Yeah, John, you mentioned before the game, it's probably the most nervous Liverpool fans have been going into one of these games for about the last 4 or 5 seasons. Therefore, were you surprised at the one area that everybody thought, ooh, what's going to happen here? Marcus Rashford, absolutely at the top of his game, had success against Trent Alexander before. Were you surprised that he played central against 2 big, strong, quick lads?
I was surprised because, of course, that's not Marcus' position. Marcus will score a lot of goals, like Mo Salah, coming in from wide positions. I thought he would have given Trent a hard time, and I said at the start that it's important for people to get back and help Trent. But he played into Liverpool's hands, playing down the middle against 2 big centre-backs. All the work he did, any good work he did, was in wide positions. Weghorst, I thought, would have been playing down the middle. So I thought that, obviously, hindsight's a wonderful thing because Man United have been playing well. Erik ten Hag has got every decision right. But today, in hindsight, you could say maybe he shouldn't have done it. Maybe it might not have worked, but I was surprised to see him in that position, yeah.
Finally, John, obviously you played with Ian Rush, you played with Robbie Fowler, whose record has gone today. All-time Premier League record goal scorer is now Mo Salah. Where is he when we talk about those Liverpool greats?
Right up there, not just in terms of by breaking Robbie's record, but by the numbers he's posted every single year, as well as the effort and the commitment he puts in. As I said, this year we've been inconsistent. Mo, as much as he's scoring goals, but today he looked as if he was back on form. Not so much in the goals he scored, but his energy, his determination. He chased back. This is a real Liverpool performance, and hopefully we can continue to do this for the rest of the season.
John, terrific stuff. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
To win a game of that magnitude with that scoreline.
A little bit. We knew it was a big game coming into it. United have been playing really well of late, just won a trophy, so we wanted to come here and perform to the levels we're capable of, and we had out today to get the result. And I thought overall the performance was top from everyone, and you get your rewards in the end.
Particularly in that second half. Obviously it was only 1-0 at half time. I mean, what did that feel like in the second half? Attack after attack, and they all seem to be going in.
Yeah, we're sort of building momentum second half. I thought we started the game really well. You know, first 20-25 minutes was very good, and then maybe 10-15 minutes United got into it a little bit more. But second half, I thought we dominated for large parts, and we were clinical in front of goal, which is important.
Jordan, it's Michael here. I was just wondering what the mentality is after a result like that. One, you're obviously euphoric. It's a great scoreline, but of course, secondly, there's still a job to do. There's still been a disappointing season, and that respect as well for a team that are playing so well, that have already won a trophy. Where's the balance here between celebrating and obviously still being humble and pushing on for the season?
Well, I think you've got to enjoy it, you know, playing in big games like this against United. It's always a fantastic game, so to win it 7-0 is a big moment, really, and one I'm sure we'll look back on. So you've got to enjoy it, but at the same time, you're right, you need to stay humble. And at the end of the day, it's just another 3 points, and we've still got a long way to go to try and qualify for the Champions League at least. So it's another game. We've won, yep, enjoy it, but we'll move on quickly because the games come thick and fast, and we'll have another tough game next week against Bournemouth.
Jordan, you know Mo Salah better than most. You see him day in, day out, what he puts into his game. To break Robbie Fowler's record of all people today, and in this fixture, in that magnitude as well, in front of the Kop, was that almost written in the stars for him? Yeah,
it was a great night for him, and I'm delighted for Mo. You know, it's not a coincidence that he's hit these numbers. You know, he dedicates his life to the game, and first one in the training ground, last one out, always in the gym, doing the right things, eating the right things, and he gets his rewards. And tonight is an amazing night for him personally, but also for the team.
And Jordan, just looking at the league table there, I mean, it was only seemed a week or so ago that Liverpool were in 9th place, now up to 5th. Now with the Champions League in touching distance, how important is it for a club of Liverpool's size, you know, in terms of recruiting players, keeping players, you know, big players happy in the Champions League? How important is that 4th place?
It's really important, you know, like you say, in a club like Liverpool need to be playing Champions League football. And yes, this season has been disappointing at times, and we haven't performed to the levels that we're capable of for different reasons. But I think we showed tonight we can still perform as a team. We've got a few big players that have come back over the last few weeks that's helped. And now it's about trying to keep everybody fit, trying to keep the energy levels and the performance levels high like they were today, right till the end of the season. And if we do that, then we'll have a good chance. But yes, of course, it's big to try to get into that top 4 for next season.
And just finally, Jordan, with 13 league games to go, what kind of bounce is a result like that today to give you now?
It is a big result, you know, but the performance is the most important thing, I feel. You know, I think the performance level has been really important the last few weeks, especially Premier League. I feel as though this has been coming and performing for the full 90 minutes, which I feel as though we did today. But we need to continue that. We need to keep going, keep working for each other. And